been entirely too long, but from hearing comments from the developers, there actually isn't that much left to this demo. At least there shouldn't be. The original... I think their original plan was to have the demo cover essentially the first story arc leading up to the first investigation, and the first big turn of events is the first death, naturally, being Jin. Also, okay, that's back in its right place. No Jin. Where's Lime gone? I had to think twice there, but I'm concerned. Where's Lime? So. I believe the, and button disappeared again. Oh, there it is again. Okay. Buttons, the people button is still doing odd things here, so. Anyway, I believe where we last left off, we were dealing with, Coffee is speaking out against revenge on number one. Rule number one being the murderer here, being the one who very likely did a murder on Jin, because they're the only one allowed to break rule number one, which forbids killing. So, Coffee is making the wonderfully rational argument of, we should figure out who did the killing, but we shouldn't kill number one, because if we kill number one, then we can all just... Then it's open season on fucking murder in this place, and we're all gonna die. So, Coffee, what are you proposing? Come on, explain. If we get rid of Rule 1, we will all become potential killers. It's very simple. An explanation shouldn't be needed. Bill raised his head. Ooh, we get a choice here. Alright, save button. We're gonna support. I'm afraid she's right. Then what do we do? Nothing? I don't like either option, to be frank. But still, we need to stop them somehow. How? It's not like there's a jail here to lock them up. Before considering that, we need to uncover their identity. But if we do that, we risk their rule being taken out. In theory, as long as there's no majority vote, they won't die. We could expose them and keep them alive, but under watch. That doesn't sound too bad, I guess. Also, keep in mind that the circumstances of this murder, that ostensibly, rule number 1, locked Jin in a bathroom stall. And then left Jin to die when the hour rolled over. It's not so simple. What's the problem with that? I didn't say there was a problem. Explain it then. Don't leave us hanging. Hanging from where? You're serious? Yes? What I meant was, according to the rules, only 3 of us can survive. Therefore, sooner or later, number one should be taken care of. So with that in mind, number one has some advantages over the rest. Even if we keep them alive and under watch, if they know that, as soon as 4 people are left, they will be sacrificed. As soon as their identity gets found out, they'll use their license to kill to get rid of us and become the winner. What are they waiting for then? Here we are. If it's one of us, they could just go ahead and do it right now. Got me there, old man. I've got no idea. Maybe they're at a disadvantage. The rule forbids us from killing them through violence, so I don't see how. Considering the method used, the culprit does not seem to be armed. So as long as we don't leave them an opening to attack, we should be safe. I believe we should calm down for now and avoid being alone. Everyone seemed to agree with Cocktail. There wasn't much more they could say, so the conversation ended there. Such a tense mood, some didn't take long to leave. Even Cocktail, for the first time, didn't stay at the counter. Nobody felt like drinking, so his services were not needed. Bill was left alone. No, there was someone else still there. Someone who hadn't said a word in that whole time. There she is. Okay. He didn't even notice her presence until that moment. The one who always stood out had turned invisible, face devoid of emotion. She's still missing from this screen. What happened there? I'm pretty sure I have the most recent updated build, so to speak. Like, I actually downloaded the most recent build I could find directly from itch, instead of trying to go through the itch app, which gets a little bit dicey with the way things were being updated here. Got to the point in the itch app, I had like three different builds you could launch. We have the patch downloaded. We have the Christmas special. Oh, we'll get to that. Bill wanted to say something, try and cheer her up, but his mind went blank. Only capable of looking at her. Here's looking at you, kid. She was motionless, frozen in her seat, barely making any sound. And though her eyes were red, no tears remained. For Gin and Lime talking often. But to be fair, Lime talked often to everyone. Obviously, any death was a tragedy, especially in cases of murder. No one seemed as hurt by it as she was. Lime, do you need... Yo, Billy. Slowly raised her hand, waving. How's it going? Wanna play something, or do you want to chat? You? Oh. Tell me. One of your fun stories. Her head lifted up, showing what was trying to be a smile. The tone of her voice tried to imitate her usual one, but something essential was missing. Bill gritted his teeth, trying to control himself. No, you don't need to force yourself to. Come on, cheer up that face. We're in a bar, not a feud. Lime. Buried Rules. Oh, that is a very apt song title. Thanks. Till now. Oh, thanks? Until now, I thought that you weren't taking this seriously. I think I understand now. So, thank you, and sorry for not realizing it until now. What are you saying, Billy? We both tried hard to avoid this, but we still ended up here. This isn't the end. It's hard to get over this loss. Actually, I don't know if I will ever be capable of getting over this. As long as we stay alive, this story won't end here. Determination. For now, let's rest up. Turned around, ready to leave, but after a couple of steps, a hand grabbed his arm. No, you don't get it. Huh? Silly Billy, you overestimate me. I didn't do anything for anyone. Just myself. I only wanted to not think. Why else do you think I got drunk? As long as I had fun, all the fear and all the danger didn't exist. Neither did the game or the poison, nothing. While we were happily talking, while we were talking about her, someone was It's too real now. He tried to turn toward her, but Lime's hand pressing into his arm stopped him. I'll never be able to ask about the conversation I can't remember. Can't even remember the last talk we had. No, I remember one thing. I made you make an unfair promise. You couldn't keep it. Or I guess you did, but this isn't what I wanted. Why did it end like this? Words he couldn't understand. Whispers that weren't meant for him. We barely met a few hours ago, and yet, I think there was something there. Still, no matter what I maybe felt about her, whatever could have been, the truth is that I can't even cry for Ginny the way I should. Because more than sadness, what I feel the most is fear. I hate that. The hand was let go. He turned around and... We'll have to try harder then, Bilbo. Ooh? Ah! The kid lay on the floor, screaming in pain, holding his wound. The pain prevented him from getting up. It wasn't actually a severe wound, but he'd never been very strong. He is a big baby. Luckily, someone came to help soon after, the one person he needed most. Are you okay? What happened? They hit me, and... Those guys again? Yeah. As he saw the wound, the boy sighed, relieved. Don't worry, nothing serious. Still, though, those kids don't learn. I just tried to talk to them, make peace, and... You don't learn either, for better or for worse. Huh? Why? The boy extended his hand. Come on, up you go. Grabbing his hand, he managed to get up. Pain was still there. It seemed to have diminished. Maybe him just being there helped him to relax. I can see the... Okay, I like this flashback. This gives a clear... If this is a Bill flashback, it gives a very clear parallel to what we've just gone through. Thanks. No problem. Bill tried to approach the situation with diplomacy and peace. And inevitably, blood was spilled. You think I shouldn't talk to them? Someone has to talk to them, that's for sure. But it shouldn't be you. I don't get what's wrong with them. They attack me just because of how I am. No matter how much time passed, he could not understand. It had been happening for years since he was there. But in his innocence, he didn't understand why and kept stumbling over the same mistakes. Were they really mistakes? He was always wondering that. When he met that boy, things changed, though. Not completely. His self-confidence had grown a lot, and for the most part, he felt happier. It could be said that he was his best friend, his only friend, really, but he saw him as something else. For starters, there was the 6 years difference between them, so he was much more akin to a big brother, or a father, or even a hero. When he was with him, nobody attacked or insulted him, but as time passed, he had felt that he was relying too much on him. He knew that their lives would one day inevitably go down different paths. probably happen soon. It was for that reason that he wanted to learn from him as much as he could, make friends, and solve his problems as fast as possible. But no matter how hard he tried, it was one failure after another. Was everything he was trying pointless? Was it impossible for them to understand each other? Some would say humans are born with pure innocence that is lost as they grow up. And part of that innocence was that concept. The belief that everyone can get along, that with enough effort everyone can understand each other. If that was true, world peace could be attained. Unfortunately, life teaches us the opposite in little time. And yet, that kid still didn't seem to have learned that lesson. Maybe he just refused to learn it. Perhaps he could not bear being rejected by others. Perhaps he was too innocent. But even after seeing that, the brother could not bring himself to break that illusion. In fact, he wished for the opposite, that everyone believed in that fantasy, so it stopped being one. Even so, he worried about what could happen to the kid. He could not be there to protect him anymore. You think I'm doing it wrong? Should I stop? It was obvious that he had to stop trying for his own good. He had started having problems with other kids practically as soon as he had arrived here. While the adults had tried to solve it on many occasions, no solution had lasted for very long. Behind his back, he was considered a problem magnet, a kid with bad luck, an easy target. At some point, he had given up. He had accepted his position, until his hero appeared. He didn't want that kid to lose hope again. He also had to accept reality. So his answer at that time was, "We'll have to try harder." Was that a mistake? That kid would one day be called Billiards, inspired by that person, was again on that junction. He could persist on his goal. Even with the person's death, everyone else could still come out alive. Yep, this is coming full circle. We could accept reality and fight for his life against the others. I see. Break shot. Thrown to the ground, covered in sweat and tears, and pushed to his limits, a switch finally flipped in the kid's mind. He could endure the pain as long as he was already more than used to it. Insults didn't faze him. They no longer mattered. There was, however, one line that nobody could cross. They had done just that. He didn't know where they had found that information about his past. Not even one of the adults, though. That didn't matter at the moment. That was his weak point. He wished to leave his past behind and start a new life there. Now that dream felt impossible. He couldn't bear it. The wounds on his body stopped hurting. Something else took its place. New sensation. Rage inside, consuming his mind. Hatred that he never thought he was capable of feeling for anyone. Not even them. Uh-oh. His right hand moved across the ground, in search of something. Nothing specific, anything would do. His fingers reached something. His eyes were still fixed on his attackers. But he could still tell what the object in his hand was. That moment, he thought of him. What would he think about that, what he was about to do? The answer was obvious. He knew doing it could destroy everything. Was he willing to lose everything all over again? For a mere fleeting moment of satisfaction? Yes. Intoxicated by that hatred, letting the adrenaline take over him, that was his answer. He gathered his remaining strength and raised his arm, extending it toward the one in front of him. Just a small branch, nothing more. Small enough to go through his target's eye. Whoa! Goddamn! That took a turn. Where do we go from here? Okay, we got a scene here. I've been left after those words, which had inevitably resurfaced memories from inside him. Is Line back on the status screen? She is. Unknown. I was an idiot. Now I realize what the real Lime is actually like. She's as vulnerable as any other person, and after what what has happened, we might never see her joy and energy again. Maybe that's for the best, for her own well-being. He'd been there for a few minutes, alone in that seat, thinking, remembering. The only conclusion he could reach was that he had to keep going. For that, he had to move, while objectives were no longer a concern between councils. The pressure to act was bigger than ever. That's right, that was Rule 9, and Rule 9 is now dead. On the one hand was the assassin, Rule number 1. Further deaths had to be avoided. To do that, he had to find out who they were. He wasn't sure what to do with them, but somehow they had to be stopped. It was also his own number. He had to figure it out as soon as possible. And number 2, the potential key to escape. Wait. A recollection echoed in his mind. Quickly went into the data menu of his barman, and indeed... Jinn was Rule 9. Could perhaps the knowledge that the victim had desired death sometime in her life diminish the pain he felt about that wish having been granted now? No, of course not. He didn't know when that suicide attempt had taken place, but even if it had been recent, it didn't change anything. Jinn hadn't seemed like the type of person to try and take her own life. But for whatever the reason, the attempt had failed and she had continued her life until that other person had taken that chance away. Not just any other person. Rule 1, the other person that data included. Again, a macabre irony. That cruel twist of fate could become the key to stopping the killer. 9's death. One more person among them fit that data. That was the person he needed to find. That's going to be a morbid bit of investigation. Instantly he felt the allure of a fleeting idea, a wicked thought that tried to make him lose his way. Maybe, perhaps, that was just another suicide attempt, a successful one. Perhaps maybe it wasn't a murder and everyone was innocent. He didn't have to suspect anyone. He didn't have to feel any guilt. Immediately he rejected those whispers coming from his subconscious. Didn't know past Jinn. Probably didn't know the Jinn of the last few hours too well either. But he had seen her face in her last moments. Even leaving aside every sign pointing toward murder, that face of horror and suffering said more than enough. He wouldn't fall for that trap. Wouldn't use that fantasy to take the easy and painless way out. Murder mystery stories were never his hobby, nor had he ever been interested in detective or police work, but he still knew one of the basics was interrogating the suspects. He didn't know how to do it, or if he'd be capable, but it didn't need to be too formal, just a simple conversation with each person. That was the hardest part for him, having to suspect others. Did he have to talk to all of them? Who were the most suspicious? He began making a mental list of all 8. There's Darts, the guy who's whispering sweet nothings into your ear. I'd vote for piano, being a bit suspicious. Lime, vodka, cigar, piano, cocktail, poker, coffee, and darts. Ironically, I would discount... Lime has been hit the hardest by this. I'd discount her. I discount vodka, because vodka would have just as easily volunteered for death. I discount coffee, because coffee seems to want to win the game the right way. It does not seem like a killer, it just seems like a... blunt, cold, and practical. Wants to win the game, but it's not a murderer. Lime was out. He was certain of that. Couldn't see her as a killer, even less so after what had happened. He didn't even want to consider it. While not a great reason, he didn't have the resolve to talk to her again after what had happened, especially about that subject. He needed some time. Vodka was also quite unlikely, though less so. His age would make any physical action harder, and there was his indifferent attitude toward the game. More willing to die than kill. There was the chance of that being an act, but he wasn't the biggest suspect. Cigar also didn't give off the impression of being capable of it, at least not mentally. Moreover, she'd been visibly affected by it, having shown panic, ire, and fear. Again, it could be an act. Not likely, though. Piano was a kid, even if he tried to act as if he wasn't. Physically less capable against gin than vodka. Very unlikely. Oh, Cocktail. Cocktail was the first plausible candidate. He seemed to be a good person, albeit distant. An easy person to suspect with his strong image as a bartender at the game taking place in a bar. Even though he was searching for the murderer, he couldn't help but recall Dart's words about the possibility of Cocktail having some relation to the owner. But he had focus. Physically he could have done it, but Bill didn't have enough information on him, or the murder, to reach any conclusions. He had to consider him a suspect, even if he didn't like it. Poker was another possible suspect, but the friendship he seemed to have made with Jin made it less likely. On the other hand, he definitely had enough strength to commit the crime. Though he seemed less hurt by it than Cigar and Lime, he'd been clearly furious. Much more serious than usual. No doubt it had affected him, he just showed it less, or showed it differently too. Yet if he was innocent, he could still be worth talking to, as he seemed to have known Jin better than the rest, Lime aside. Coffee was the biggest mystery of all. He found it impossible to judge her in any way. Obviously that made her suspicious, but simply due to a mere lack of info. On the one hand, she seemed to have less strength than Jin, making her a less likely candidate, though not an impossible one. But that was as far as he could go without speculation. He needed to talk to her more, as hard as that was. And last but not least, Darts. Perhaps from the whole group, the person he'd had the most clashes with. There was no denying that their relationship had been rough from the start, and he hadn't had a great opinion of him. However, after their strange conversations, he had no idea anymore. He was always wondering whose side he was on, what he was aiming for. He was certainly a possible culprit, but how likely was it? You could picture him both as main suspect and innocent. In summary, his main suspects were Cocktail, Poker, and Darts with a big question mark over coffee, as well as Darts again. But really, those question marks could be extended to the whole group. Even after a few hours with them, they were still strangers. Even Lime, the one who seemed to have suffered the most from Jin's death, much as he wanted to completely discard her, her innocence wasn't 100% certain. Step by step, he needed to talk to each of them in private, otherwise nothing would be done. At first glance, the easiest way to find the culprit was to figure out who fit his third data. But it wouldn't work to simply ask each player if they had ever tried to kill themselves. Aside from being incredibly insensitive, the culprit would lie without no way for him to know. It wasn't the type of answer he could get while being subtle. Yeah, it's, not the thing you just go around telling strangers in a death game. The best way, and maybe the only one, was finding out who had both the reason and mindset required to reach such an extreme. With the little he knew of them and going by first impressions, none of the 8 gave off that image, same as Jin. And there was another factor to consider. The logic that we're going with here makes sense. I don't know how I feel about it. Was talking alone with someone safe? As long as the killer was free, it was a risk. As much as he refused to play the game, someone else had already started. They wouldn't turn back after such a serious crime. If his investigation was found out, he could become the next victim. The rest would also want to find the culprit's identity, but compared to being willing to openly investigate, it was a different matter. Oh, my head. There's much to do, and not much time to do it in. He had to find the culprit. He had to stop the culprit without killing them. Further deaths had to be stopped. Above all else, they would escape that place, the Golden Jack. Thank you for playing this far. We hope you enjoyed it. Hey! It's only the beginning of what we hope will be so much more. It is already so much, my goodness. All we decided on the Kickstarter campaign. Plan to start early 2023. Join the Discord? Oh, I should do that. What, on Twitter? This is the ending guide, right? It means that in theory, there are other endings we can find here. We sign off. Novelty, objection! By the way, we can't let a murderer wander around scot-free. Exactly. Justice must be delivered. But killing the culprit isn't actually just justice, just vengeance. Ideally, we should leave it to the justice system, but have to require the murderer's survival. Then, death? The killer can't be one of the 3 winners. Piano brutal over here. Yes! Kill! Then again, that would make us all into potential killers. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they should be kept alive until the end. We have to get rid of them sooner or later, right? Wouldn't we mobilize them somehow to avoid more murders and decide what to do later? How? Oh, there we... Before considering that, we need to uncover their identity. Found a watch? Yes? Not so simple. Okay. And things kind of move along again. It seems to only have changed that conversation just very slightly. Oh. There's an interesting foible to Bill's character here, who obviously came up through hard times. Tragedies in his past. Lonely life. Had this hero of his that he idolized. Tried to approach the situation with diplomacy. Treated as odd by other kids his age. Relentlessly bullied. I may have broken this. Might have broken this. Scene is not loading. Ahem. Let's see if anything beyond this changes. Probably not. It's a thing that's probably only going to change further down the line. Oh dear. I've broken it again by trying to skip. I suppose that's a thing on the to-do list, is to sort out skipping through these sidebar scenes. Somewhat. Oh no, but... Now this should be the new second council. A different second council than the first time through, where we had the which I believe the first time we went through the second council, we had the that was the deal where Bill was first to sacrifice himself to Rule 3. And then Cigar was up this time. Then someone said, psych, and accused Cigar. Didn't get the majority, so Cigar lived, and then chaos ensued, and that led to a bad ending. This time we don't do that. This can play out differently. Any volunteers? Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. We can volunteer. Dot dot dot. Hey, this might give us a bad end. Once again, he didn't have the will. The danger of doing it without knowing his own number was too high. Nobody? Rock, paper, scissors? Again with that? It's a rock-solid game. Many papers have been written about its reliability. And something, scissors. I guess that's an option. Billy, you said it first. How about it? Yeah, I think that's the most fair and logical way. And the safest, too. Okie dokie. Then... Wait, we should all decide. Oh yeah, sure. Limbs up if you agree. Agreeing means having to participate? Yeah, innit? It's not fair unless everyone's in. That would require a unanimous vote that would then have to be obeyed. Otherwise, even if someone is chosen at random, they can back down. Yeah, there's no rule making us do that. Jesus Christ. At this rate, you'll be arguing till the cows come home and still not be done then. Can I take a nap till this gets anywhere? No. But I did my part already. What do you people expect from me here? Whatever, who cares? Noise would make it impossible, though. Focus, please. We can't take all day. For starters, who's in favor? Bill, Lime, Cocktail, and Scar raised their hands. Seconds later, Vodka did too. Not that anyone didn't take that one for granted. Scaredy cats. Well, that's half. And get it done between you 5. 4. Well, 4. Oh well, so be it. But hey, no worries, people. Gramps already did it. Not a thing happened. Not like I'm worth accusing. Then, rock, paper, scissors? No, we're really doing this. Alright. Whatever you all prefer, but let's get this done. Alrighty then. And so, after a few games, the loser was... Luck is not on my side today, if that's how it is. My number is 5. Complete silence. You had chosen a very special number, be it at random or perhaps for a reason. They remained silent for almost a full minute. Finally, nothing happened. I feel like that's the number that Cigar did, too. It appears that nobody's willing to accuse me. Second member, welcome to the club. With their worries lifted, it was time to change the topic. Should I try to convince them to do an all-alliance again? The likelihood of winning them over wouldn't improve by repeating the same arguments. What else could he do? At least nobody was mentally ready to kill yet. So now what? I'm done already? We could, but now that we're here, we might as well talk. What about how nice the weather is? Should find out some of the more dangerous numbers. Oh. Wait. I think we all know what you're gonna say. Any solid idea? Not yet, but we shouldn't fight before trying something first. Oh, here we go. I've been working the noggin, but for now, I don't see any other solution in sight without any sacrifices. Without the antidotes, we are slaves to our captor. Damn, dude, that's deep. In other words, for now, we should prioritize our survival above anything else. I like that. If we hold on for enough time, the police will find us. Oh. No, that would mean getting rid of a rule. No shit, but in order to prolong our lives, many takes precedence over one rule. I'm fine with that, but we have to be here until they rescue us. We could die without food. That's how little you trust the police? If they were good, we wouldn't have been kidnapped. I doubt they would find us. How mistrustful. Well, that's two for ACAB. That's youth, but quite honestly, I wouldn't bet on them either. That's me. And I bet even less on me holding out much longer. Maybe I'll have a heart attack soon, so I can stop caring. Not like I care much in the first place. Damn, dude. Alright. Old people and young people online joining hands with a shared intergenerational dream. Beautiful. A shared intergenerational dream, a craving for death. Let's focus. Here are things we should try to endure as long as possible. A few moments of reflection, several hands went up. Cigar, darts, and poker. Cocktail raised his hand slightly, uncertain. With gin, that'd be half. Actually, it'd be pretty wild if suddenly men in black from the CIA stormed in to save us. Easy mode. Yeah, easy. Aside from, you know, surviving. The CIA here, and men in black? In what country and year do you think we are? It's what popped into my head when I thought of a rescue. Don't know why, it just did. It's that cinema thing. All fiction. Poppycock. That cinema thing? What century are you from? This one, of course. Wait, no. It changed recently. It never came before this one, then. I've never been into those moving pictures. Conversation derailed again. He needed to act. So I'd like to hope that we'll be rescued too, but if they take too long, which is possible, death will be inevitable. You like repeating yourself, don't you? I'll say it as many times as needed. You're taking everyone's lives too lightly. Our kidnapper might see this as a game, but it's not. We can't... Frustration got to him, paralyzing him while holding back tears. Using all his willpower, he endured as he had done until then. He wouldn't give the owner the show he most likely desired. He wouldn't cry. He wouldn't cry. Cry. Everything will be alright. Oh. Sometimes it'll be tough, but nothing lasts forever. And that's why the good times also have to end. But we will meet again someday. Remember, you are stronger than you think. Oh? Those words came back to him once more. Even though that person had left his life long ago, his words still echoed in him. It was thanks to him that he was now fighting for the lives of all those strangers. He wouldn't let him down, neither him nor himself. Are you feeling all right? Sorry, as I was saying, we can't accept sacrifices. That sounds lovely, but reality isn't. There's only one alternative. Rule 2. But again, that would require trusting someone to save us and surviving till then. Either that or sacrificing that person. You all lost me again. Let's see if I can untangle this mess. So, the choices we've got are... Woo! Playing the game and winning, and getting rid of the rules necessary to survive, especially 4, until we are rescued, or either getting up from Rule 2, or removing them and searching for ourselves. Is that correct? Yeah, don't see any other way. Actually, I've got some suspicions that, if confirmed true, could lead us into a 4th option. For now, though, yeah, those are our only 3. Huh. Hey, don't leave us hanging off a cliff. I will. Was that the final verdict? It seemed that way, and some already appeared to have taken a stance on what option they preferred. No, it was obvious that the second option was the most popular. There wasn't a decisive majority. There was no doubt a better option than trying to win the game, but Bill still couldn't accept it. At that point, arguments weren't enough. He needed evidence to convince them, not promises. Clear consensus couldn't be reached yet, no matter what they chose. Something was quite certain. Sacrifices were needed. With time, they would only increase. And those sacrifices wouldn't just take it. They'd fight for their lives, put it in danger, purely because of a specific rule they had gotten at random. A third option, Rule 2, seemed to be their only hope. Did this go in a different direction at all? Alright, save point here. Why not? Possibilities. What's his name? He never used it for all the time he'd been with him, referring to him as a big brother. I'm sure that they had introduced themselves when they first met, that he had no doubt heard it from other people. That identity had disappeared from his memories. Say, what do you want to do? Don't know, play something? Boy laughed a bit at his answer. Oh, the future? Okay, I'm remembering this. I've seen this. Thing changes. Just a future didn't exist. Slowly needed for his age. Death. I don't remember if the bad end path had a different chapter name than the normal end. This is already a normal end path, because... Suppose, let's see. That music beat is very well timed. Fortunately, broke the game. Oh. Okay, yep, this is pretty much the same. I think it's safe to say that we have closed the gap here. Actually, let's see what happens if we volunteer. It's the only choice. You lost your chance last council, but sure, go ahead if you want. Exactly, could have done it last time. Well, stop pressuring me.
No worries. Third time's the charm.
Third? Third how? Ignore her. You gonna do it then? I guess. If no one else will, do it.
I'll have to.
Let nothing stop you, young man. Oh? Or talk. I'm number 3. Silence. Oh? Accusing? Oh. Accusal initiated against Rule 3. Well, alright then. Bill almost let out a scream as soon as he saw the message but stopped himself. Rules forbid them from talking while an accusation was ongoing. While nobody was opening their mouth, all sorts of looks ran throughout the table. Who would start the accusal? Everyone had their barman on hand. Could have been anyone. His hands trembled as he tried to hold his barman. Name had to be written, any but his own. Row number 3 was forced to abstain. Got enough votes. Their own would add up. As 10 people, 6 votes were necessary to get a majority. Was his life in danger? Were 6 people there willing to kill him? For starters, they had no idea he didn't know his number. He couldn't say so now. For them, voting him at that moment wouldn't result in his death, in a confession alongside a protection from future accusations. That wasn't the case. With his eyes, he tried to convey his despair, asking for mercy. However, their eyes looked downwards at their screens, their bodies petrified. And yet he decided to write Jin, simply because it was the shortest name, though after tapping the G, the rest was auto-completed. A few seconds later, the vote concluded. Guilty. Oh! Fucking rip. In pieces. His heart stopped for an instant. All eyes went to him again, but this time the expectations on him were different. His true number. His mouth opened slowly, trembling. He had to bet his life. He had to guess his number, but he felt dizzy. He knew his consciousness was about to collapse. His lips came a number, the few he could be. Likelihood of getting it right wasn't too low, but still under 50%. Threw the dice, and the number that appeared, the number he had wished for, did not happen. Shortly after, the poison ended it all. White ball. Welcome once more. Alas, you came back here, though thankfully no death lasts forever for you. The same cannot be said for the unfortunate rules, however. So what mournful tragedy led to the end of your life this time? Sour is the taste of betrayal. Assuming we can consider this a betrayal, with no clear pact between the rules, any action is valid. Who started the accusal, and who voted, you ask? It is a shame, but the answer to those questions is not found here, nor will it be answered in a direct way on the actual story. Maybe one day you will have the information needed to deduce it. You might be thinking, why can't I try again with another number? Maybe it wasn't 3. We'll make an exception here, and we'll reveal one thing. Even if the young Billiards had chosen another number, of the ones at his disposal, his fate would remain unchanged. Consider this the first hint at solving this mystery. I would advise you to not distract yourself too much, since at this point in time it is not yet solvable, and you have much bigger priorities to take care of now. Again, a way to survive this council. I think giving out a number is a lost cause, so you have to make another rule, take that risk. This will not amuse poor Billiards, but now you know it is for his own good. What to do if another accusal occurs, you plead? You'll have to figure that out on your own. The game has barely just begun. But the hardships are already quite high. I hope you can overcome them. Otherwise the show will be ruined. It's just a show to me. Well, it is more than simply that. Though it is a much more serious endeavor for the owner.
Maybe I said too much. Let us conclude here. It's time to return to the council and try another strategy. Let's make a toast in honor of a fruitful game and the souls of these lost rules, for the Golden Jack and for our dearest owner. Let's see here. Okay, so first council, second council, 2 o'clock, third council. So we have technically 2 more endings here. Let's at least say if anything changes here if we stay silent through this portion. Oh, the endnotes were slaves to our captor. Damn, dude, that's deep. Whoosh. In other words, for now, we should prioritize our survival above anything else. I like that. If we hold on for enough time, the police will find us. That'd be complicated, though, but not impossible. But it would mean surviving for more than 10 hours, the fourth rule lends us. Like the girl said, there's some rules we should do something about. Whoa, is this forcing us to? I think this is forcing us to interject. Whoa, hi. Do something, but that. Whoa, hello. Yeah, my opinion on killing. See, Something new, please. Going in circles is a waste of time and energy. I am still not sure. Ooh? Hey, don't bully BB. She also called us Bull earlier. Don't say that if you're gonna call him BB. I'm not bullying anybody, just being objective. My theory is that Darts did the accusation in that bad ending. What do you think about it objectively? Does that mean we'll be removing those who inconvenience us? Wow, that's harsh. When you put it that way, I'm not sure, to be honest. We go into a witch hunt. We'll just create confrontations that'll result in the opposite effect. We'd last less. At least she's reasonable in that. Yeah, Giddy knows what's up. Woo! Plausible, yeah. We have to consider it seriously. And let's leave that aside. Any other idea? Praying for a rescue seems to be the best proposal so far, so I think that the situation is worse than my remaining life expectancy. Please might be our best chance. I think we're cycling back into the arguments we had before. Yep. Okay. Don't cry, Billy. Out of curiosity, if I give a number here... From to death, he had to take that step to save everyone else. The decision made, he had to choose a number. Is this just line interjects and once decided? I'm... 2? I'm 2. Yeah. Okay, yep. You got your number. Alright, no biggie. I don't actually remember if there's any open ways to, Fixation? And I immediately sobered up. Decide to write darts. No majority. We save. Ah! Alright. Oof. don't think I should make use of this opportunity. There's still time. Time to complete it. Still wins 3 o'clock. There's still time, if not much. How could it all be done in this council? Talk to the others. Then again, clear his objectives didn't seem like a good idea. Perhaps there was a way to imply it that the other half would notice. How did the hour go for you? I don't remember how this went the first time I went through. Where'd that come from? We needed a topic, so I thought of that one. Presume you can all imagine what I was doing. Doesn't seem like anybody did much of anything. Is this the actual solution here? You sure? I'm not. Maybe 2 did, like going out in secret, for example. That'd be rough, but not impossible. I had some issues this hour. With what? Yeah, I think we had this conversation before. His objective, probably. Can't we talk about those once they're done? I'm not really sure. I wouldn't, just in case. I'd say no, not until the hour ends. That makes me curious about which ones you got last time. I think we tried using the Messenger app before, and we got that bad ending there. Let's not waste time. Just immediately eliminated. Not like we have much to talk about at the look of things. Should take this more seriously. And you should chill. Oh. Didn't go as I hoped. It's not possible. Couldn't find any way to do it in the council. Yeah, this is the normal way we end this chapter. I'd be after it, fair enough. Everyone had to agree to ending the council. Oh, hey, let's focus. Oh, I don't remember this. But... Boom. Poor Lime getting bopped around. But what? Can't expect us to do much if you don't tell us what's wrong first. Oh, is Lime trying to tell us? It's just... Perhaps the alcohol has affected her more than expected. What did you take? Vodka? Tequila? No, nothing too particularly strong. The actual mistake was the amount, clearly more than she could take. Let's let her rest while we continue the council. Yes, let's do that. What do we talk about? Let's just let this play out. That's the problem. We're exactly like we were an hour ago. Nobody's acted for now. I go the game's at a standstill. We'll see for how long. So what? You want somebody to act? No, I'm just pointing out the situation. Although at this rate, the only conclusion this will reach is everyone's death, aside from Four's holder. Now that sure made it sound like you want someone to start playing. Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. It needs to be stopped right now. Oh, wait, I have an idea. Uh-oh. Too late. Okay, shoot. Maybe not. With what's happened in Lime State and with nothing new to talk about, I think we should finish the council now. Huh? We barely started. We did Rule 3. Technically finished if we all agree. Yeah? Doesn't feel right. Say it. Nothing to say either, but let's finish then. Some sudden energy there. All good? Yes. No. What? Yeah, I was thinking I was the senile one. Let's finish. I need to rest. Anyone against? Nobody answered. Not even darts have to be good enough reason to complain. Okay. Alright. Oh, can we fail the accusation here? I don't think so. It's somebody else. Oh. We could perhaps game over here. Somebody else. Is this our game over? While Bayo's days lost in mental labyrinth, the council continued. He had lost his chance. He never got another one. Or perhaps he never had that one that could save him. Warning, you have broken Rule 9. Don't help you eliminated from the game. RIP. He tried to hide it, acting normal until he could hide it no longer. They inevitably realized as they saw one cup missing on the counter. No, 2 cups. He fell down alongside the better half he couldn't find, but would now share death with him. Couldn't find you. Bad end. Time out. Welcome once more. Alas, you came back here, though thankfully no death lasts forever. For you. The same cannot be said for the unfortunate rules, however. So what mournful tragedy led to the end of your life this time? Tick-tock, tick-tock. Time does sometimes go by too quickly. That is perhaps one thing all humans can agree on. In theory, time is relative, but physics is not my field, so I will not go any further than that. There is not much I can say here. The Grim Reaper is slow, but if you stumble one too many times during your escape, it will reach you. Unfortunately for our rule, the search for his better half during the hour was not successful. That will not change no matter what you do. That is a sign that something is wrong with that half. Something cut them further apart. Something is wrong with that half. Something cut them further apart. Not all is lost, of course. He must return to the council and find the one way to escape from death. I already lost too much time, so I tried to be brief for once. Be thankful. So quickly, let's make a toast in honor of a fruitful game, and the souls of these lost rules, for the Golden Jack, and for our dearest owner. A simple enough bad ending. To fail the accusation, or fail the identification of your partner, timeout, and you die. I do believe that the other bad end we got was, leave. Trying to use Rule 8 in the trial and failing because we're not Rule 8. I am curious what this choice does. Yes, but. Maybe he already broke with Rule. Still alive. The poison was still dormant. Couldn't give up. What could he do otherwise? Is there an alternative? It's hard to live, but if it's desperately inevitable, at least he wouldn't use it to... Whoa! Oh, shit! No player can leave a council until it has been declared finished. That's what one of the base rules stated. Oh wow, alright. Or maybe he was Rule 9, but no, it didn't fit his data. In any case, there was no turning back anymore. He had to ignore their looks and screams. He had acted in the presumption that he had already broken a rule, so nothing had really changed. regretting his big mistake was pointless. And yet, he couldn't avoid doing it. While he did so, he had to keep moving. He had another rule he had to break, the second one. Nobody could stop him. If they tried, they too would break the rules. See, I thought that the ending we were going to get here, the ending I was missing, was in the trying to figure out how to find my better half. It's just to try and talk to people. Because when we tried to talk to people, we took a little bit of group mood hit. I figured if we spammed that, we would bad end. But that might just take us to the bad end we got, where we just ran out of time. This is something interesting. The poison would kill him in less than 15 minutes. At that time, we had to find the antidote, the exit, or at least the truth behind it all. Clearly, that was not going to happen. Futility. Aw. Honestly, I'd love to see some of these fleshed out a bit more. Arguably the best one was the first time we broke Rule 2. That was a extensive bad end state. That was detailed and revealing. And I feel like that's the spirit of the bad ends of a game like Virtue's Last Reward, 999. Like, we have some very sudden dead ends, but the bad ends will teach you something, or show you something extensive. Maybe they aren't all meant to, but at least that's why the first Rule 2 break for billiards is probably my favorite bad end. Welcome once more. Alas, you came back here, though thankfully no death lasts forever. For you, the same cannot be said for the unfortunate rules, however. So what mournful tragedy led to the end of your life this time? Let us be honest. The conclusion of this path was obvious, so going into any details is pointless. No doubt a death barely worth being talked about. Waste of time. Or did you expect something else? Did you actually believe that this road would take you somewhere else? I doubt it. Even thinking that you could have taken this decision naively is impossible. You took it knowing full well that you would end up here. Did you desire to see me so much? Did you think that you would gain... that would gain you my affection, and then I would reveal something about myself? Did you think you would give me the doki dokis? I'm sorry, but that is not going to happen. Neither here nor now. But maybe, someday. Or maybe knowing that the rule known as billiards would escape the golden jack if he ended up in this desperate scenario, you took this choice, expecting to see what was on either side of the door. Does that mean this is your first time? Even speculating on your mental process is futile, as you cannot respond, only listen. For what reason do I speak with one who cannot answer? What is the meaning of all this? Is everything futile? In that case, it would probably be better to end this conversation here. But if we ended this here, this truly would be a complete waste of time in every possible way. And that really would be unacceptable, even for a little ending like this one, barely worth mentioning. So, I will bid farewell with a little hint. Maybe that will redeem this time wasted for both, or at least for you. Inside this futile end lies a very small vital hint to solve everything. Maybe, in that sense, there is actually some value. Still, I would advise against thinking too hard on it. Watching it again and again would be the actual worthless exercise. You will be much better off letting this journey continue, and letting it flow. If you think you know what I'm referring to. Good for you. You truly do know what I'm referring to. Good job. That is all I will say. Amazing. Even in this situation, I managed to say so much, even if most of it was pointless. Very fitting. This proves that no matter how more you die, I will be here, waiting. But I would prefer if you did not abuse my time and valued more your own. Let's make a toast in honor of a fruitful game and the souls of these lost rules. For the Golden Jack, and for our dearest owner. Okay, that was more than I expected for that ending. Welcome once again. Yeah, that is all of our endings. First council, second council, one stroke. That's the ending I'm thinking of here. Where we actually got to see outside a little bit here. Possibly the most intriguing of our endings here. 66%, we find out that Bill is not in fact rule number 8. I'll have to watch this ending back after the fact. Apparently, there's a hint here. Perhaps it's as simple as just, you still have a chance to survive. But, alas. Very well then, until we meet again. Toast to our poor, poor lost rules. And to our owner, for who he might be. Alright. That went better than I expected, coming back to this just to polish it off. Got the missing council. Got all endings. And now, this is a point. We're at a point where I'm confident to call this demo playthrough done. I've said it again and again, but my god am I impressed with how much is in this demo so far. How much is in this game so far. And the promise of more to come. Like, just reading, following. If you're following along with this playthrough, I recommend you go and look for the developer's commentary on this playthrough. There's some really interesting bits of commentary in that comment section on this series. And specifically, in the previous part of this video, a while back, specifically talking about more to come. I specifically wanted the demo to cover the first major story arc, which is obviously leading up to the first death. And perhaps the major theme we're building to regarding Bill's backstory is the fact that, despite everything he's been through, and despite the fact that he's essentially a non-violent person at heart, whenever he tries to settle things with non-violence, it inevitably ends in failure. And to her credit, that theme has been reflected quite well through the gameplay so far. Every time Bill has tried to fall on his sword and sacrifice and be the hero, it has bit him in the ass. He offered up his number in the first council, and that drove him be messaged by Rule 8, drove him to test out Rule 2, and then he died. Offered up his number in the second council, and he got voted out, and he died. Seemed like any point he tried to take the initiative in pushing for allegiances and non-violence and whatnot,
inevitably got voted down by the more discerning, suspicious folks of the group. Anytime he tried to take the initiative in any sense, he got beaten down and essentially punished for it. Tried to make use of Rule 8. Try and message his better half, he dies. Thinks he's already dead because he failed his objective. Gets up and leaves, he dies, accomplishes nothing in his death, except for killing Lime. He didn't know that at the time, but... And if that last scene, that last flashback scene in the demo is anything to go by, this is... The first arc ends, the investigation arc starts. It is going to be a big turning point for Bill's character. Which means, you never know, councils are going to get more heated. And the other point in the developers' commentary on this series so far is that a lot of what might be coming, like now, we're obviously going to be investigating a murder, but free time is going to actively take up time, and we'll have a limited amount each chapter, and the choices we make as far as free time are going to affect the story to some degree. That's going to be really interesting to see, too. Makes you wonder if, discovering certain facts is going to shape the story to some degree, or go a certain direction, and that prompts us down a plotline that branches the story. I don't know, but I'm really intrigued. But this is going to be the end of our time in the Golden Jack for now. Keep your eyes peeled for news about the Kickstarter for this game, and give it some love. If by the fact that we spent 7 hours on this demo alone, and there's so much more to come from this game, and this premise, this really cool premise, and really delivered a really intriguing opening arc of sorts to this story. So, stay tuned. Follow the devs on Twitter. Keep up on it. Follow the devs on Twitter. Keep your eyes peeled for the Kickstarter. I will definitely share news of the Kickstarter myself when I hear more about it. And let's see this through. This is wowie. That is awesome. Really excited to see this come to fruition, and I'll definitely be rooting for it. And also, if you ever end up doing voice acting, you need someone to voice our shadowy barman, I will throw my hat into the ring for that, because I love that. I love being mysterious and demure. That's about the only thing I can do there, but front. But hey, why not? All right. On that note, I know I kind of dipped for a bit, took a bit of a break. Still working on things, but I think for now I'm back. And as always, I'm really glad thank you for all of your kind words of support and encouragement, and that time off I took to try and recharge and get my head on straight. Still got work to do on that front, but I think for now I'm well enough to keep going. At the very least, I've found my voice again and got some energy and motivation back to get up and keep at it. So, once again, I thank you so much for your kindness and support. And we will sign off for now with a toast to you, dear viewer, and to our lovely owners at the Golden Jack. Stay tuned for news about the Kickstarter when that comes around. And what will come next on Mondays? I don't know, but I heard it's calling for rain. Till then, a toast.